Okay, I've got the Akashic Records of South Africa opened. If you're not familiar with my channel, my name is Rita, Lorraine, Carey, and this is Monty. So I'm at a friend's house in Phoenix, and I promised some folks I'd open up the Akashic Records of South Africa. I'm an Akashic record reader, teacher. The Akashic field is a vibrational field. Everything is known in that space, and it's a vibrational history, and I use the pathway prayer process to access it. So Monty, what do you think? What do you think about South Africa? He's like, oh, it's an expansive place. It's expansive. And it would be a great place to travel to and share your joys of there's beautiful beaches. The whales come there in the fall. Mountains, a ton of history. Michael Tellinger has an astronomy site that's there, and you can check out some of his reflections on the origins of South Africa. I was hearing just now that there's a galactic connection with the origin of South Africa, and that's very similar to Sedona. That's where there's a connection partial connection, like between Sedona and Cape Town and South Africa. So, and the area around Sedona. If you want an experience where you can expand your heart space and go into joy, there's a lot of energies around a lot of the minerals and things that are in the soils, the crystal in the soils there. Gold. It can be areas where you can feel extremely high vibrating. Some people, it's almost too much for them. And so anyway, but if you go there with the right sense of appreciation, and I'm being told too that the governments there are very similar, like we really need to hold a space where we lift each other up. And the governments there would be good to do that. And the government here is the same. It's almost like if this person doesn't take advantage of something, they feel like somebody else will. And that's sort of a universal thing. So if we learn to really love each other and to know that if we lift up our neighbor and take care of our neighbor, that energy comes back to us. And that's it's kind of a very important place to be. And really, really important to know you can't make decisions out of fear. It's better not to make a decision if you're in fear. And it's easy when we're in places where the other is so different than us, because we can bring up fear around that. In fact, some of you may have, when I said galactic, may have felt a little fear. And I think that's normal, because of just different things we've been exposed to. And right now, there's a lot of people who are having a lot of fears because the media kind of plays off of what our fears are. They like to sell that sort of type of information sharing, because, you get the adrenaline going, and then, like, and so it's really easy, and it's been really easy the last couple of years to go into fearful places, because there's a bunch of stuff. Our main sense of knowing is that we like to belong, and so you see that kind of playing out on the planet, and then you also see this survival instinct, right? So the last few years have given us a lot, and they've given us a lot to do with grief, because a lot of souls have decided to depart the planet, and so it's a reflection not only of our own immortality, but these connections. And what I will say, I'm doing some stuff with crystals in grief, which I'll be sharing on a website as part of a project I'm doing. But just know that you have the ability to connect with the person who's passed. And crystals will help you kind of do that. And I'll explain a little bit more about that. But it's really like you always have the ability to do that. The problem can be is we try to look for people where they were before. and they're not there anymore. So it's basically you're kind of creating a space of like, where are they now, right? And just being really open. You don't have to, it's kind of hard to pinpoint with what we're used to with timelines and time frames, but just know that they are energy like you, and that their energy and life force never ceases. I can ask my mom for a hug and feel the outer layer of my skin tingle a certain way. If I ask to connect with my dad, I actually feel the lower parts of my legs tingle. So that's all really cool for me. And I think that our skin is our largest intuitive sense. So really pay attention to that. Pay attention to your heart. Move forward with things that speak to your heart, that feel joyful, expansive. It's always really awesome to, they talk about, the road less traveled, but it's like by taking these unexpected turns, it gets you out of the egoic sort of framework where we're kind of preparing everything the same, right? So if we make another turn or do something totally different, we can open up a whole other area of our life. And that's it. That's something the energies of South Africa are really good for. If you're visiting there, there's just so many different things to do and experience. And the people are amazing. The people are the best part of South Africa. And they're all over the board. There's different economic areas. There's different spiritual paths. It's just really ancient soil there, ancient knowings, deep, beautiful, different mineral deposits. There was a huge meteor that hit South Africa. You can see the crater from space, and that caused so many minerals to be created, and gems and things. So much about the origin of the earth is based there. It's an old earth, kind of again like Sedona. Yeah, so you can play. I've got a couple videos on here of how to play with the energies of these different rocks. So like Table Mountain and things, like you can kind of try to play with some of these energies and bring them into your third eye and then down into your body. It's very powerful. I'm also being told to share with you, you can invite in for your cells, ask your body and your cells to remember certain things. And I'll give you a few words to bring up to think about. One is tachyon. So ask your cells to remember tachyon and clear any programming of your cells. Palladium is another term. Gold, ask your cells to remember the energy of gold. Remove any programming, light up your cells. Have your cells thriving, bring them into a high vibration place. You can just invite this energy in. You can do that with a lot of things. Those things I know are really good for us. So just make sure you put this for your highest good. So any last energetic sort of thoughts? So the South Africa just kind of really wanted to share some energy types of things with you and positive sorts of things. And an idea of why we sometimes have these disconnects, So love one another, reach behind you and pull the person behind you back up, if they've fallen. But do it in a way where they want that. And honor the path that people have. Somebody else's path might not be your path. And you may want to judge that path as being unhealthy or not good, but that's really not your job. So our jobs are to love each other, as much as we can. And if we can't love each other, or you can't love somebody, then it's just better not to have any, just not to have any contact with them, but just hold them in a good light. Yeah. And so I'm hearing go and look at images of South Africa and sit in that beauty and imagine yourself on those mountains or beaches, or play with the energy of some of these big boulders that are there. Online, you can do that, and you can bring in that energy. And check out some of Michael Tellinger's stuff. He's got some really good stuff around the origins of even humans. So, and you can decide whatever you want to decide about all that. Blessings and love to you. Thank you for checking out this channel. If you enjoy the shares on this channel, please share them. Hit the subscribe button. I've got some salt that was given to me from an American Indian tribe, but it's beautiful because it's crystallized, and it's just, it's just like little squares, but they're layered crystals, and so the salt's really beautiful. And I wanted to open up the Akashic records of it and just see what it has to share. So I will try to figure out how to film that for you, and I'll do another, I think I'm going to do another short little segment. I just feel like right now, like there's probably a humanity message or maybe a crystal to open and to get more messages around things that we can do right now to keep our vibration high. So, all right, blessings and love to you. Take care.